moving to the CSU?
No idea. They haven't decided that yet.
Are you rando?
Random, yeah. All right,
do your notes. Let's get smarter. Rotation. 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 It rhymes with notation, which I've been bugging you about all year.
Yes, we have started on a Google Doc.
We're
doing the Amazon Wars. Think of Wonder Woman without her superpowers, you know, like where she comes from.
Hey, real quick. Do your honor societies charge you for chords?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're in speech and debate, you want one, they're $10.
Wait. Honestly,
We just get one for being AP Calc.
Oh, yeah. No, gel pens go back over there. So you'll just pick them up every day.
So,
Mohit, can you walk around and collect gel pens for me?
So you're not going to be a stickler if half of the problems is done in green and the other half is done in blue?
No, just they need to be done in gel pens.
Okay, just want to make sure.
It's my way of making sure you did them with me.
Hey, Mr. Beckman, how much did those gel pens cost?
I'm pretty sure that thing cost $8 at Walmart.
Dude, so I think I might like get that from college.
No, get it for Audrey. She loves gel pens.
Hey, get one for Audrey.
Where's Audrey going next year?
She's thinking about CU Denver.
Or
She's just kind of looking around.
where are you going next year? UCCS? Yeah. It's not that far. She's worth it. I know. She's my neighbor. All right. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to whip out our power drills. We're going to have some fun with math. We're going to rotate around an axis. So we're going to rotate an area around an axis. So today is 6.2. Now is rotation. So what we're going to do today is we are going to rotate an area around an axis.
We did this.
I started it, I didn't finish it. Because last time I gave you when it was the disc, but I didn't give you donuts, correct?
Yeah.
No,
Disc, but not donuts, right? Okay. So, reminder from last time. Guys, don't talk when I'm talking, please. I gave you a couple minutes to do that. Reminder, we talked last time about discs, which are solids. Like if we have the equation y is equal to, I don't know, x squared. We have the line y is equal, nope, x is equal to 0, x is equal to 4, and we rotate around the x-axis.
What does that say?
Reminder, discs are solids. Discs are solids. Mohit, I can't think with you talking. Discs are solids. Like we have something that is just solidly connected to our axis. So there isn't like a donut in between. So we get y equals x squared. We get the line x equals 0. We get the line x equals 4. So we're going to take this region right here, which as you know from your AP Calc test, that's what they love to call it, is a region. For a disk that is solid, the equation is we take the integral from a to b of the radius, we square it, here. Area is a blank dimensional measurement. 2. When you take the integral, it moves it up to a what? 3-dimensional integral.
Wow.
So, very light bulb moment. Gotcha. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So the distance of our radius, which I need a different color pen for, the distance of our radius is always going to be the distance from the x-axis to right there. The x-axis to right there. We start at 0, we end at 4, so our endpoints are going to be 0 to 4. So let's set this puppy up. Our radius is x squared. And we're going to square that. So weird how far behind it is. That's so weird. Okay, Mohit, I can't think with you talking. You know that, brother. X squared squared is what? Okay, so from 0 to 4 of x to the 4th dx. What's the integral of x to the 4th?
X to the 5th over 5.
evaluated from 0 to 4. Here's the good news. When you plug in 0, what do you get out?
0.
0. And that makes sense because how much area is under the curve at 0? 0, right. It's at 0, 0. There's no area under that curve. It should be 0. And remember, the integral is the difference between how much you have here and how much you have here. Okay, so you get pi. When you plug it in, you get 4 to the 5th over 5 minus 0 to the 5th over 5. You're really smart. What's 0 to the 5th? Yeah, not quite as easy, but what's 4 to the 5th power? 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16, 64, 256. 1024.
Yes.
1024. So we get 1024 pi over 5. Justin.
Isn't it when you like have two functions and you're finding the area between, you have to square both of them?
Yeah, we'll do one of those. Yeah. So you square the difference between their areas.
Yeah, because you can't square both in terms of FOILs.
Yeah.
Because Nick and I did a practice problem and we had to figure that out on our own.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I knew we hadn't covered that. So, okay, so let's give you a visual of what that would look like. Let's give you a visual of what that would look like, because it's always nice to see what we're actually doing in math. So let's whip out our power tools here. You know, now that I've remembered my own, so let's undo it first. There we go. So this really straight line. Oh no. Here we go. 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 Boys, stop talking. I can't think if you're talking. Oops, wrong way. I know it's racist. It's actually not racist. It's called sexist. Okay, so here's our axis. Here's our y equals x squared. Here's us revolving it around that axis. To make that volume. Now let's do the y-axis. See how it makes that area? I know. Isn't that totally why you should tell your wife why you need a power drill whenever after you get married? No, honey. It's not for fun. It's for math. Our kids will need math help one day. Okay, so do we want to do this one on the y-axis? Or are we wanting to do something harder? Yeah, let's do one that's a little bit harder. Let's do one that's a little bit harder here. Let's take a look at... let's take a look at one. Let's go for the difference between two. So let's go for the function y is equal to, I don't know, x cubed. Let's go for y is equal to 8x. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. Sorry. There we go. Y is equal to x cubed. Let's go for another one. Let's go for y is equal to, I don't know, 4x. And let's revolve the area between bounded by the x and y axis. Bounded by the x and y axis. Okay.
Area around what?
The bounded by the x and y area between the curves. Thank you. Bounded by the x and y axis. Area between the curves bounded by the x and y axis. Area between the curves bounded by the x and the y axis. Okay, first off, let's make a picture. So what I'd like you to do real quick, let's draw the graph. It does not need to be exact. It just needs to be close. The x and the y axis. X and the y axis with those two functions. Ready, set, math. Ready, set, math. Now, this is one that if we did not have our graphing calculator, they may provide a picture for us. They may not. It depends. They may not. It depends.
What is this?
Picture. Okay, so we draw a picture. We know y equals x cubed. Kind of looks like this. We know y equals 4x is going to look like this. So we get a region that we're going to revolve around this axis. So this is like what our power tool is going to revolve around. So notice how this one's going to leave this hole that's going to be in the middle here. So it's not solidly connected to the axis. There's going to be a hole around it. This is called the washer method or the donut method. Because now we don't have one radius, we have two. So notice I'm taking out a couple colors here. We're going to have two radius, two radii. So we're going to have a radius that's...
Is this supposed to be donut?
What's that? Donut. Isn't that how you spell donut?
Well, that's.
Is that how you think donut is spelled?
Don't.
This is the...
Like that.
So, hold on.
You fellas like a donut? How do you spell donut?
Hello, Mr. Girachi. Can I finish the setup for an example? Can I have one more minute? So we're going to have two. Ignore my spelling here. Ignore spelling.
Wait, no, it's not. I'm not sure you're supposed to like do
Go.
Okay. Okay, really? We're spending time arguing about how we spell donut? Okay, we'll spell it the lazy way. Okay, so we get two radii from this. We get one that's closer, and we get one that's further away. So we're going to call them two things. We're going to call them big R and little r. Big R is the one further away.
Wait, but there's already a big R.
Big R is the one further away from the axis of rotation. Little r is the one closer to the axis of rotation. So one's further away, one's closer. And here's the formula for this. Still got a pi out front. Still go from the start to the finish. Okay, so a couple things that we need to do on this one. The first thing we have to do is we need to figure out where those two graphs do what? Intersect, right. We got to find out where they intersect. Because the first point they intersect is at what? 0, 0. But the second one is on the other side of that. To do that, you set the two equations equal to each other. So set x cubed equal to 4x and solve. Okay, let's back up. Questions on that? Questions on that?
And x equals 0.
And x equals 0 and x equals 2, right? Okay, so those are your two endpoints. The one that's further away is which equation? 4x, right? 4x. We need to square that. Minus, which one's closer? We need to square that. Can we break those up through subtraction?
Yes.
Yeah, we can take the integral of the first minus the integral of the second. Mrs. Girachi is here to talk to you today, reminding you about that question we asked about what time you have to be there. But she's also going to talk about what you have to do on test days. Seth, real quick question.
Why is it 0 to 2?
Because if you solve this for x, you're going to get 0 as one solution. You're going to get x squared is equal to 4 as the other solution. When you take a square root, you get plus or minus 2. But since it's bounded by the x and y axis, we want that one, so we want that positive 2. So that's the other spot they intersect at. And I need to bring her email up, so give me just a second.
Or you can have this if you want.
Beautiful.
That easy?
That'll work. Yep.
Nice.
Right. All right, Mrs. Girachi, they're all yours.
Okay, so, do you have any juniors in here? Did anybody get asked to be a escort, junior escort? Wondering. Haven't heard yet.
Have
So
they
follow up with
sent?
that.
Have they sent them out yet?
I don't know. That's why. Yeah. So I just kind of wondering.
Okay. I've been told it's by GPA, so I'm going to be pretty shocked if it's not basically everybody.
I don't know. They have a process.
Okay.
Probably something like that. I just am not exactly sure what it is. So, okay. So while he's pulling that up, the first slide that you're going to see is talking about the location again.
Is that backwards? Yeah. Sorry.
Which reminds okay, we can do that. Which reminds me that I'm still collecting your permission slips, so bring those to me if you haven't done that yet. And on the permission slip, that top part that you're supposed to keep has the address also. But if it's the night before the test, then all of a sudden you can't remember where you're going. Go ahead and go to the next slide,
Okay.
Mr. Beckman.
You bet.
Thank you. There's a location. You will be able to go to the DCC AP webpage. You can get to that through Student Services and find all this information there as well. You can also find a download of the permission slip if you still can get that. Okay, there's a couple outside my door too, but I'm not going to print it. The biggest thing about the testing location, if you haven't been there before, and I know most of you have been there before, but if you haven't, drive by it so you know where you're going, especially if you're driving yourself. We had 2 students get in 2 separate car accidents on the way to exams last year, and because they were rushing, and you know you're already kind of anxious about the test anyway, so we don't want to have that happening again. All right, so make sure you know where you're going. The next slide actually has a map of where you're going. All right, so this is Rampart High School right here. Our building, Checks Unlimited, is right here. We're going to be using northeast parking lot. This is Union Boulevard, and research is just up here. So, like, I have to be here every morning to pick up exams, and I just go down Powers to Union, and as soon as you cross research, you're right here in this vicinity. I would avoid this street here, though. You can get here from this street, but there's a lot of elementary school traffic right here, so we don't want to hit that. The other entrance, their main entrance is actually right here, so you can get in here. Cones and signs are going to direct you to that northeast parking lot. So it takes about, 12 or 15 minutes from here to get there. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. There's a schedule. Any questions about the schedule? You guys probably already have it pretty well down by now. Okay. Next.
Hold on. They're taking pictures.
Oh, I'm taking pictures. Okay. The schedule is also on that permission slip on the top part. Okay, what to bring to the exam. So, most important is your photo ID. There's going to be a lot of people at this CUP exam. I can't remember. We are going to in a separate room in the back of this building, just DCC. I think, can't remember. But if that's the case, that's cool because then it'll be definitely just DCC people checking us in. But still, as we grow, I might know your name and not your face, or vice versa. Might not be me checking you in. Bring a photo ID, that's school ID, military ID, driver's license permit, something like that. You don't need to bring any pens or pencils. I'll be supplying those for you.
Oh, sorry. By the way, you are streaming this live on the web too to a couple kids that are gone today.
Oh, great. Okay.
Nate, I hope you're watching.
There will be several clocks around the room, but if you'd like to have that one real close to you, that's fine. Bring a watch. You can sync to the main clock that we're using. Just make sure it doesn't have any alarms or beeps. No Apple Watches, iWatches, things like that. I always suggest that you bring a hoodie or a sweater. We get in there in the morning and it's kind of chilly, and they crank the heat up and it gets really hot, and then he puts the air conditioner on, it gets really cold. So we want you to be comfortable during that 4 hours time span. Backpacker purse, I suggest you leave anything that you can leave locked in your car or your parents' car that are coming to pick you up. The fewer things that you can bring into the building, the better. Okay. If you remember from last year, we have an area that is just for DCC kids, but right next to it is the area for Rampart kids and their academy kids. So it's not locked up. And nothing has ever happened about things being stolen or missing, but just, your discretion. You can bring water and actually you can bring any kind of drink you want and a snack, because you can't bring water to the testing table this year. So if you want to bring your Starbucks or your OJ or whatever that is, that's fine. It'll stay in that area where we leave the rest of our things when you come in. Okay. Next. Okay, you guys, I'm pretty sure you know your calculators right now, which ones you're supposed to be using and not. If not, you can go to College Board, and they have a list there of the ones that you need.
Okay, just to piggyback for a second, how many people had a calculator malfunction during the practice test or run out of batteries? With 3 total people that did. So when she's talking about bring a backup calculator, bring a backup batteries, like we're not joking. Like I know it works most of the time, but if it doesn't work that day, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
So if you got the Inspire CXCAS and you got your old one, bring them both. Or you got a little brother or sister that's got another one, like this is the day you need to borrow it from them.
How many can you bring?
2.
You can only use one at a time though, correct?
Right. And you have to bring them both to your to your testing table, but one stays underneath. Okay. And you can't, like in the middle of it, say, hey, I'm done with mine. Do you want to borrow mine? You can't share calculators either. And I don't have any to loan you either. So good advice there. Okay, so this is kind of old school. You guys know what kinds.
The 92, I have one somewhere in this room. The 92 is what I bought when I was in Calc 2.
And for some strange reason,
This one right here.
like if a kid forgot a calculator and all they have is a 4-function calculator, you're not allowed to use that. So, not that it would help you that much. So, okay. Next slide. Again, there's the big long list, and I will have a copy of that list for all the proctors too. Yeah. Okay.
I told you it's on there. I'm shocked as you guys that it is, but it is on there.
What's the TI Inspire CAS?
I don't know.
Has an extra C.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. The Chinese version.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, nothing that has a pen or stylus input, nothing that has wireless or Bluetooth capability, internet access, or anything like that. Nothing with hardware peripherals, camera scanning capability. Electric ones that require an electrical outlet. I do know that one of our students has one with that charges electrically. You do not count on being anywhere near an electrical outlet if that's the case. Okay. Huh?
Basically, all of them have one that plugs in the charger.
It was Karen.
Only one kid was wanting to charge them, but basically all their calculators now they don't have batteries. They
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just plug ours into the wall and
Okay, but I'm saying you won't be near an outlet or anything like that.
You can't bring a battery to charge.
Yeah, can you bring a portable battery? Yeah, a portable battery.
It cannot be connected to anything during the test. So that's why I told you, the night before, plug it in and make sure it's green so it's charging overnight. Because you can. So
what's the difference between a battery that's in the calculator?
Because you can't plug anything into the calculator. You can't have anything plugged into your calculator.
And I don't know what kind of access you're going to have to your outlet there.
Well, he's talking about a portable charger. And Noah, the issue they have with that is they don't. I know it's a portable charger, but they don't know. It could be something that's connecting you to a Chinese website that's really feeding you all the answers.
Yeah, so exactly.
You have the calculator, but it can't be connected to anything during the test. So
don't make me fret that day. Okay. The thing about that I just want to remind you too about the calculator. If you forgot your calculator that day, and that happened as well during the test, you have to sign a statement that says, I'm taking this test without a calculator today, and I will not use that to challenge my scores. Okay. So if you forgot your calculator, basically you're saying I'm willing to take this test without a calculator. Okay. So I do have to have you sign it. The biggest thing for me, the biggest headache for me is cell phones. Absolutely no cell phones in that building. I shared this with Mr. Beckman in another calc class that during the mock calc exam, I was sitting over by the backpacks and somebody's cell phone went off. So I don't want you thinking, oh, she'll never know because I've got it hidden over here. Don't bring it into the building at all. That's a really old stat, and so I can only imagine that number has grown since then. But 475 students had their exam scores canceled because of some kind of cell phone use. I bet you that it wasn't 475 cell phone owners. I bet there was a group of kids standing around somebody with a cell phone, and there's 5 people gone. Okay, so you don't even want to bring it into the building. Let's just say you've got a little bag with your snack in it, and you put your cell phone in there too. It's just our natural habit to grab our phone. Okay, if you do that, even if it's turned off, I have to dismiss you and take your device, and they're going to cancel the 9-minute square exam. Okay, I have to call the College Board. They get really obnoxious. I have to fill out a report. It's just not a pretty thing. We want to avoid that altogether. So as the next little clip will show you, it says don't turn them off. Don't even bring them in at all. Leave them in your car or your parents' car, however you're going to be getting them. Okay. Other things not to bring. Okay, iPads or any kind of listening device. I don't even want you, if you're in the habit of having your earbuds hanging around your neck or something like that. I don't want to see them because I don't want to have that conversation with you. Nothing that can access the internet. I don't need to read through all of you. You guys know the drill on all of that. Okay, don't just turn them off. Don't even bring them in. These things you don't need. You wanted to bring that crash fluid, but you don't need it. No scratch paper. Somebody's like, what's a compass?
Yeah.
You mean like a north-south compass?
No.
Who would bring a computer to this?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. No clothing with subject-related material. Somebody said, what if it's tattooed on my body? You would need to cover that up. other
What?
subjects.
It's an actual picture of Caleb Neal's arm.
That's why he's always.
Are these all real Neil?
No.
That's Pride and Prejudice right there in the table.
What?
Okay, so the thing you want to really do is just follow my instructions every painful step of the way. If you think I know what I'm going to say because you did this last year, you might not know what I'm going to say. And if I see your pencil still moving, I'm going to think you're still busy going over what we just did. So we'll be waiting, and then I'm just going to hold up the whole exam. You can read through all of this, no looking ahead, no copying, creating a disturbance. Hang on, we're getting to some good stuff here. Okay, yes. So you could actually be permanently banned from taking any College Board test, which includes an SAT or any AP exams next year. College Board is really cracking down. Most likely they'll just cancel your score or not score your exam at all. Here's the scoop. Eat a healthy breakfast. Arrive at Checks Unlimited no later than 7:30 a.m. If you think about how many kids across the district,
Stick around.
Please,
I'll send an email out that you're going to be late to find
okay, yeah, okay. Are taking this test, there's going to be a lot of kids trying to park and check in at the same time. So make sure you're there no later than 7:30. I'll be there about 6:30. If you want to show up at 7, that's great. You are expected to attend your 4th or 8th block class that day. Look for DCC signs. Find me or another DCC proctor to check you in. And that's the next slide. Again, leave your dowsing tools in your car if at all possible. Okay? That's basically it. Most of you I'll see in another class anyway, so.
Yeah, I'll see you in like 3 more. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
And
you.
here's one more.
Okay.
Yep. And then 7th period, same thing, end of the class period.
Can we do next week? It's on my calendar.
Thank you.
I also have a 0 for a skill quiz that I definitely took.
Okay.
So
Monday, our last
I
day.
think someone lost it,
The day that I'm not going to be here.
but I remember too.
Can I have my
Oh, yeah.
thumb drive? I don't know if you're next.
I
Otherwise,
think I'm not because you had somebody else that was
Okay.
the first part of this period. It's like, should be going over.
So should we just do that later?
Yeah. You
Okay.
send me an email.
Yeah.